Good morning, children. Today our topic is garbage. What is garbage? Garbage is the waste that is produced in our house. So every day we use so many things just for cooking or for eating. We buy so many things from the market. You buy chips, you buy chocolates, biscuits. So how are they sold? They are sold in packets. So you bring them home, you will open the packet, you finish them off, then you will throw the cover outside. Outside in the sense you will throw in the dustbin. So just see from the morning till evening what items your dustbin collects. So the items that are collected in your dustbin are garbage. So let us make a list of the things that we throw every day. Covers. What are the covers? Food covers. So many packets you buy from the market. So all these covers and carry bags. When you buy something in the market, they'll keep the things in a polythene bag, hand carry bag. It's a polythene bag. So that is also garbage. Carry bags. So I will write it as food covers. And what else you get? You get fruits from the market. So after you bring the fruits home, your mother will cut them. But before cutting, she will peel off the skin. So fruit peels. That is also garbage. And what else? Vegetable. Vegetable skins or peels or skin. And leftover food. And what else? You will be doing your homework. After coming back from school, you may be doing your homework. So while doing your homework, if you write something wrong in a paper, you will tear the papers, and you will mend your pencil. Sometimes you see your smaller brother, just for fun, he is mending the whole pencil. Pencil dust. Paper dust. So the waste that is collected in your pencil box, all that. And what else? Right? So your father may be using some papers in his files. Whatever the papers are not necessary. So unused checks, unused papers and statements and documents, he may be trashing them. So papers or files. You might be playing with toys. If some of the toys are broken, what do you do with the broken toys? Just you will throw them out in the garbage bin. Toys. What I mean is broken toys. Any torn cloth. Clothes if they are torn. Bed sheets if they are torn, you will throw the rags pieces, cloth pieces in the garbage. If the cells of your wall clock or remote battery, if the cells are used up, you will throw them in the garbage bin. See how many things that are coming to your dustbin. So here is your dustbin. This is the trash. So just you open the dustbin and see what are the various items that you are throwing. This is only a part of this. You may be creating more than this in your house. Just see that, just make a list. Better you do it on Sunday. Sunday you will be staying in the home all the day. Right from the morning you take a paper. Just you note down what sort of waste is being produced. Your mother will make tea. After the tea is boiled, the tea dust is thrown in the garbage bin. Leftover food is thrown in the garbage bin. Fruits waste, vegetable waste, all this waste is thrown in the garbage bin. So you may be bringing some green vegetables, you will cut the leaves and remaining parts are thrown out. So likewise, plenty of garbage is created, that is produced in our houses. So we will keep all the garbage in the trash dustbin. So what happens to the dustbin? The next day morning, You will find the Safai Karmacharis, they come with a whistle, they blow the whistle, they will ask you to get the basket, dustbin. You will give the dustbin to them, they will keep the dust in the garbage truck or the small vehicle that they are carrying the garbage. They will put the trash in the garbage bin and they will give you the trash bag, your bin bag. You will get your bin. So now your bin is empty. You are filling the dust again. You are filling the garbage again for the second day. So what that person is doing? He is carrying the garbage in the truck. Where he is carrying? What do he do with the garbage? So he will take away the garbage to a place called as landfill. So we learned what is a landfill. So landfill is a place to where the garbage is transported, is taken. So let us write it here. Here I am drawing it again. The trash bin, this is the trash. So that is the trash bin of your home. The garbage bin. So it is taken to the garbage truck. So this is the garbage truck. So now the garbage truck is carrying the garbage. This is from the houses. So from the houses, the garbage bin, we throw the dust into the garbage bin, the trash bin, it is given to the garbage truck. Now the garbage truck is carrying the garbage to where? It's carrying the garbage to a place, a low-lying area called as landfill. So all the trash is dumped over here. All the trash is dumped over here. So they will select some place. So where there are no houses, there is no residential area. So they will select such a place which is a low-lying area. So they will carry all the garbage in the trucks to that particular area. They will dump all the garbage over there. And once the low-lying area is completely filled, they will put a layer of soil and they will cover it. So this is the low-lying area. This is the, you can see that this is the land level and this is the low-lying area. Here they will dump all the garbage. So once it is completely piled up or filled, it is covered by a layer of soil. So now above this area, this landfill area is not used for the construction of houses. It is not advisable because the soil is not strong enough to hold the basement of the houses, and it's not suitable for the residential area. This area is allotted to make or to build some park for a span of 20 years. So for a span of 20 years, this particular landfill should not be used for construction of houses or any other purpose. It should be left like that. In the meantime, whatever the garbage is buried under that, it get decomposed, right? So that area, it will be used for some park or something like, right? So that is called as a landfill. So when there is a landfill, where there is a landfill, near to the landfill, we can find some kind of people and some kind of factory setups which work on the garbage. So what is that? They will separate the useful junk. Useful junk, that means recyclable materials are separated from the garbage. Recyclable materials, there are so many materials which can be recycled. So they will separate the recyclable, reusable materials from the garbage. So the recycling units are established around the landfill. So it is very close. They will get all the recyclable materials from the landfill and they will make it useful. So by that we can reduce the land pollution, we can reduce the soil pollution. So around a landfill, what sort of establishments will come? Recycling units will come. The recycling units, they will take the useful components from the garbage. Some components of the garbage are not useful. They are left like that. They are covered by a layer of soil, and it is let it allowed to decompose and mix with the soil completely for a tenure of 20 years, say more than 20 years. So by that it gets decomposed. So for this duration, it should not be used for construction of houses or anything else there. Once one landfill is completed, the people will search for one more low-lying area that will be selected as a landfill. But the landfills are very fast filling these days because the amount of garbage produced in our house is increasing day by day. Right. You see that in 1990, if you go to a grocery shop, you will get the grocery items packed in newspapers. So newspaper is not a polluting material, not like plastic. But if you see that before this we have written the different items that are produced in our house, the garbage. In that we have written the plastic covers, carry bags, all these are made of plastic. The garbage that consists of plastic items is non-decomposable. It does not mix with the soil. It's a problematic one. Right. So in earlier days, in 1990s, you see the grocery items were packed in newspapers. Now they are packed in polythene papers, plastic covers. You go to market, you buy anything that is packed in plastic cover. But plastic, it cannot be decomposed easily. It is a problem to the soil. It does not get mixed up with the soil easily. It creates so many kind of problems. Right. So the plastic is getting accumulated everywhere. That is in the sea, in the river, in the soil, everywhere plastic items are getting accumulated. It's because of that, because they do not decompose. They do not mix up with the soil as like paper or other waste. If you see the waste like fruit waste, fruit peels, vegetable peels, leftover foods, cloth, these kind of items will decompose. They get mixed up with the soil easily. But whereas the items like plastic and metal cans, they do not get mixed up with the soil quickly. So here we understood how the garbage is disposed, right? That is from our houses to the garbage truck, from the garbage truck to the landfill. So this is the way. So if you see the list of items that are found in the garbage, we can categorize them into two categories. One is decomposable garbage and non-decomposable garbage. Right? Here for a more appropriation, we write it as non-biodegradable. Okay, we write it as non-biodegradable. We write it as biodegradable. Anything we can just use it for a sense. I'll explain you. Decomposable. Decomposing in the sense, what is the meaning of decomposing? So there is a device. So there is a motorbike. A motorbike is fixed with different items, wheels, silencer, handle, tank, seat, like that. So when all these parts are clubbed together, you call it as a bike. If you separate the parts, then what do you say? It is a decomposing. When you are composing different parts, you make one object. When you are separating the parts, it is called decomposing. Every object is made by different components, by different substances. If you separate the substances again, you call it as decomposition. For example, certain materials, if you bury in the soil, after a few days, they get mixed up with the soil. You know, items are made up of, matter is made up of molecules. A paper is made up of molecules, but it is in the form of a paper, right? All molecules are joined together. It is composed to a paper. If you keep the paper in soil for 10 days, 15 days, if you bury and see no paper, the paper is decomposed to its elements. Likewise, certain materials can be decomposed by nature, by microorganisms in the soil. Certain materials cannot be decomposed. So we are categorizing the garbage, the materials into two on basing this particular characteristic. biodegradable or decomposable. So what comes under this? Paper, fruits and vegetables, food, leftover food, cloth, oils, etc. All these items are decomposable. Non-biodegradable or non-decomposable: plastic, glass, metals. These are non-biodegradable. If you bury the plastic and if you see after 1 month, you will find the plastic bag again. It is not decomposed. If you bury a metal can, after 2 months or 3 months, you can get the metal can back. If you bury a glass piece, after a few months, you can find it back. It is not easily mixed up with the soil because microorganisms, they cannot work on these materials. They cannot decompose them. They cannot break them into simple things. But whereas these items, paper, fruits, vegetable, food, dead bodies of plants and animals, dead bodies are buried in the soil, they are decomposed in few months, right? So the garbage can be categorized like this, right? So decomposable or biodegradable, non-biodegradable. What do we do by categorization? We can do one thing. These items, plastic, glass and metals, if they are thrown in the landfills or if they are buried in the soil, it will take thousands of years to get mixed up with the soil. Thousands of years. Only because of the heat and pressure of the soil and land, they will be converting into that elemental form. Otherwise, they will be in the same form. They cause soil pollution. So these items can be recycled. Say for example, you have brought one Coke in a tin. You drank the Coke and after that, instead of throwing the can in the trash bin, in the garbage bin, you can put it separate and you can sell it for the people who buy the trash. Metal and plastic items will be bought by some people to recycle them. Otherwise, in cities, they give 2 types of trash bins to every house. One is blue, the other is green. So the green one is for biodegradable, bio. In this you can put the fruit waste, vegetable waste, leftover foods which can be degraded, you can put in this. Whereas in the blue one, you can put these kind of items, plastic, glass, metals and all. So in cities, there is a system to collect the degradable and non-degradable waste separately. So by that, these degradable waste are not thrown in the garbage, they are treated for recycling. So by that, we can reduce the environmental pollution. So we will be contributing. And if this garbage is buried in a landfill, there is no issue. In a very few days, it will turn it into a compost. You can do this at home. If you have a garden and if you have some free space, then you can perform the activity. You can make some 2 pits, at least 2 pits A and B. So in pit A, you can put these kind of materials like paper, fruit, vegetable, cloth, oil and seeds. In pit B, you can put these materials like plastic, glass and metals and you bury it. And after 2 months, you open it, or after 1 month or 3 months of your choice. You see here, in this case, you cannot find the paper, fruits, vegetables after 3 months. They are mixed up with the soil. Now the soil will be giving you a specific smell. What does it indicate? The soil is turned to a compost. You can use this compost as a nutrient for the plants. If you put this compost to the plants, they grow so healthy. It can be used as a manure, organic manure. Whereas in case of B, you will find all of them still there. They are not mixed with soil. So by this activity, you can understand certain materials will decompose, degrade and mix up with the soil. Certain materials will not do that. So we need to be very careful while disposing or throwing these kind of items in the garbage. What are they? Plastic, glass, metals which do not decompose. Now let's see about vermicompost. So I told you that when the waste like vegetable and fruit waste is thrown into a pit, if it is buried in soil, after some time it turns to manure. The manure can be used for plants. It's an waste, but it is turned to useful material which can be used for the growth of plants. So that is called as compost. Then what is this vermicompost? So we discussed about compost. Compost is the organic decaying matter useful for the growth of plant. But what is this vermicompost? What is this? Vermi means worms. We can make some compost which is very good for the plant growth with the help of worms. What worms they are? Red worms. So red worms are seen in rainy season. They live in the burrows. During the rainy season, because of the rain water, the burrows will be filled up with water. That time these red worms come out of that burrows. You can see them. They are very slippery red in color, thin worms. With the help of these worms, we can make vermicompost. So vermicompost is very nutritious for plant growth. Let us see how to do this. So to make the vermicompost, you need to dig a pit. You need to dig a pit, or you can take a wooden box of your choice around 30 centimeter. You can take a wooden box. So in the wooden box at the bottom you have to keep a net. First thing is keep a net or sand. Some 2 to 3 centimeter. You can put some sand or a net at the bottom. So after keeping this, you have to put the vegetables and fruit peels. Vegetable and fruit peels. Fruit waste. Right? You can keep some cardboard pieces and other kind of waste, tea leaf dust, such kind of waste you can keep it here. Leaves, grass, dried leaves, husk or hay, dried grass, dried dung of animal. So such items can be kept here. Right? So now you have to sprinkle some water. See that you do not put much water. Sprinkle some water. So you have prepared a bed for the worms. The worms, they live in this and they feed on this. So you have to collect some red worms. These red worms are to be kept here. Now cover this box with a gunny bag, so by that it will keep the box cool. Earthworms are the worms that live in place where it is not very cold or not very hot. So the box, it should be in a shady place. It should not be too hot nor too cold. Such kind of arrangement has to be done. And they should not be disturbed. Just to sprinkle some water. So day by day, you can add up some waste. What waste? You can bring some fruit peels or vegetable peels, only such waste. So you should not throw leftover food with oils, spices, meat, colors, vinegar, because if you buy the food from restaurant, they will give the food with all these things: oil, spices, meat, colors, vinegar. If such kind of food is kept, it leads to the growth of microorganisms. So your pit will be totally destroyed. Do not put such kind of waste. Only fruit and vegetable waste or tea leaves dust, such kind of materials are to be kept. Not spices, oils, pickles. These kind of materials should not be kept in the pit. So you feed the pit with these items. You feed the worms and keep it there for few days. What happens? the worms, they feed on this waste what you are keeping, the fruit and vegetable waste, and they make it into a compost called as vermicompost. So the earthworms, they don't have teeth. The earthworms, they have a part called as gizzard, by which they will grind the food. So it is always better to add some powder of eggshells. If you add some powder of eggshells, this powder, it help in better digestion. So the earthworms, they grow in number. They make all this waste into compost. After some time, after a few days, you can put the food only to the corner. So in this corner you have kept the food. You left this area without food for 1 or 2 days. All the earthworms, they move towards this area because the food is available here. So that time you can collect the waste, you collect the compost from this part. So from this area you can take the compost, and this compost is very, very nutritious and good source of minerals for your plants. You can apply it for the plants. So whatever is collected, it is very damp, and you can put it in sunlight for 1 day, you can dry it. So the dried vermicompost can be applied to the plants in your house, whatever the plants you are growing in the pots. So this is how vermicompost can be made. Farmers are making this vermicompost on a large scale. The government, the agricultural department people are giving training to the farmers. So the government, with the help of NABARD, it is issuing some loans and funds to the farmers, those who are interested to grow this vermicompost. It's allotting some money to make some sheds, because they cannot do it under sun. They need some place which is covered. Some sheds, under the sheds they will make the pits, and even the government is supplying the earthworm seed. So the earthworms are grown. Once the earthworms are grown in one pit, they grow in number. You can share. The farmers can share among themselves to grow the earthworms and to get the vermicompost. It is a very best natural source of minerals to the plant. Artificial fertilizers, if they are used, they are not good for the plant, either they are not good for the consumer also, and they are very costly. But vermicompost can be produced at very low cost, and it is very good for the growth of plant, and it does not cause any harm to the people who consume the food product.